On the agenda tonight, we're going back to 2020. We're going to be taking a look at the Petersens, and they're going to be performing Bohemian Rhapsody. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, this is very much going to be the Petersens version of Bohemian Rhapsody, and you'll get the idea of that very soon into the video, but we'll get these guys up on screen, we'll jump into it, and I am going to be jumping into it as well. So there's a link in the description below that is going to be to the original video on the Petersens YouTube channel, so check that out to watch it the whole way through without me interrupting it, but let's get into it.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy, I need no sympathy. Because I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Anyway the wind blows doesn't really matter to me, to me. Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really matters. Too late, my time has come, sends shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. Goodbye everybody, I've got to go, gotta leave it all behind and face the truth.
So I'm just going to jump in here because there's so much to mention about this video so far, and the first thing that I want to mention is that this is such a rare thing to see on YouTube or on different social media sites because it's truly live. And the amount of requests that I get through different social media sites and Facebook and Instagram, people asking me to check out particular videos, and some of the videos have been set up to make it look live. So they've got their microphone there very much looking like this, and they've got their instruments out and even having amps mic'd up, and they say, oh, can you analyze this performance please? And I watch it and then I respond to them saying I will do the analysis because, you know, I look at every single video that is sent to me, and I do say to them that you do realise that it's not actually live, and I will mention that in the analysis video because I'm analysing exactly what I see. And then they say, oh, I didn't realise it wasn't live. And this is something just about every single performance nowadays. I'd say that the majority of them are pre-recorded. So what happens is they get into the studio, or they just use their own, DAW, digital audio workstations, such as Logic or Cubase or GarageBand, whatever they use, and they record their song, they sing it, they get the harmony spot on, get all the rhythm down, and then once the track is finished in its entirety and mixed, they then do a video to just have that to look at. But the problem is where they then set up the video to make it look like it's live. So this kind of thing, instruments out just with one microphone, and the camera sometimes just doing it all in one shot. So it is a little bit misleading, and people that don't play an instrument or might not be musicians themselves won't know that it's not live. I've even seen videos with live in brackets in the title, and it's not live. Anyway, back to this video, because you can tell straight away that this is fully live and this is rehearsed. This must have taken so much time to get down because of, I mean, just the arrangement to begin with, just taking on Bohemian Rhapsody, but working out all of the harmony vocals and, you know, getting them all this good, and then rearranging it for this style of music, because I love the way that we now get into this classic kind of bluegrass and country sound with the finger picking. We've got the mandolin in there as well, and we've got Matt and the Petersens, by the way, are a family. The only member that isn't part of the family is Emmett, who's on the dobro, and you'll be able to see him. Actually, I think we've already seen him doing a little bit, but he has a little solo later on as well. So I've got the guitar out just to demonstrate a few things. And I mean, what I love about this cover vocally to begin with is that they have changed some of the harmony lines. So it's definitely their own version of it, and they've effectively taken that original song and transformed it into their own version, but to another genre, because that's what the Petersens are all about. They're just in this sound of, yeah, country, bluegrass. You can kind of tell the vibe of the family with this performance, especially when we jump into that rhythm. When we do get into the guitar, what I love as well is that they've kept in enough of the original so that you hear all the parts that you want to hear. For example, I think this is actually being played on mandolin, this part, but we've got this kind of like that, and those notes at the top, you want to hear those. They are in there as we progress. Still comes in there, A minor, A minor, D, back to the G. But yeah, like I said, that's being played on mandolin, but they're keeping all of the notes that you want to hear in there while making it their own version of it. And that's really difficult to do, to marry those two things together to make it as recognizable as you want it to be, but then just put your own stamp on it. And then we get this really cool change up in the rhythm, where I'm just going to let it play through so you can hear this change.
My time has come, sends shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. Goodbye everybody, I've got to go.
Now, and a great example there of how live it is, because Matt on that E minor, you know, just caught that high E string. Actually, the whole upstroke was a little bit loud. It popped out. But that's what happens when you're just playing your instruments live. Some of those strums are going to be slightly louder, slightly quieter. You might catch it a little bit fuller than you were hoping to or you were expecting to, but that's the point. It's live. Anyway, we've got this approach of, and you know, we've got the mandolin and banjo playing here as well. But if you're playing the rhythm, it's got that kind of rhythm to it, because we're going like that. You know, and so on and so forth. But that's kind of applying the rhythm. When we're playing fingerstyle, it means that we've got this approach. Actually, we've got the bass playing the G down to the D, so we get that little running bass line the whole time. But with that kind of fingerstyle, it's that kind of approach. And like that, so I'm jumping from my E string to the A string there, and you know, same thing on the A minor, from the A, E, D. You might even want to go from D to A there, but anyway, I'm just showing what's happening with that bass line, because now we get that bounce to it. It's totally changed the feel of the song, and it's great because it's just pushing it into that different area and giving you something totally new. And it's because it's performed so well that they're just all on the same page. They're so locked in, so well rehearsed vocally as well. Let's mention about just playing and singing at the same time. And I've already said, this is so rare, this kind of video, to see just literally a family plus one around some microphones, playing instruments and doing it fully live. It's great as well the way that Matt, with his voice, he's not doing what Freddie Mercury did, or at least he's not kind of falling into the trap of trying to keep this all in chest voice. He's just using his own voice to sing a song that Freddie Mercury sang. Another really important point about not trying to copy the vocalist that you're singing a song from, but just accepting your own vocal. Because in this, I'll just let it play on a little bit.
Gotta leave it all behind and face.
A great example there immediately, where Matt goes into his falsetto rather than going, gotta leave it all behind and face the truth, and try and force it out in a kind of, classic rock kind of way. He's letting it go up there, so going, gotta leave it all behind. And he doesn't care about going into that falsetto sound because that's his voice. And if you just use your own voice all the time, it's going to sound unique. It's going to sound like you singing, which is so much better than trying to be an imitation of somebody else. But anyway, I don't want this video to go on for too long tonight. I mean, it could do, so we'll watch it for a little bit longer, and then I'll probably stop it a little bit later on.
The truth, Mama. I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at
I see a little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango?
thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me.
Galileo,
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 Figaro.
Magnifico.
Oh, I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family, spare him his life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Bismillah, no.
Will not let you go.
Let him go, Bismillah.
Will not let you go.
Let him go, Bismillah.
Will not let you go.
Let him go.
Will not let you go.
Let me go.
Will not let you go.
Let me go.
Never, ever, ever let me go.
Oh, no, 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 no. Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me.
So you think you can stone me and spit in my eye? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby.
I mean, I'm just going to jump in here because there are so many details that actually you don't really get to take in just there on the dobro, the way that Emmett is just hitting the strings, keeping the rhythm going in the background, but the camera isn't actually looking at him, so you don't see it, but you just get to hear it. And it's such an important part to keep the energy of the song going in that section where there's not a lot going on instrumentally and we have a lot of breaks between the chords. And again, it's keeping in, even with the solo actually that we had before, a lot of the notes were in there, but there was still a little bit of extemporization going on, which is great. There's a little slide up and down that isn't in the original, on that original record, but it just sounds great with this style of music. But that's the point. Let's get back into it.
Can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out of here. nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me. Any way the wind blows.
And there we have it. Great example at the end there, just keeping it actually really authentic. But what a song to take on, and what an amazing live performance of it. By the way, I haven't mentioned yet, on mandolin here on the left we have Julianne, and then next to her on banjo we have Ellen, and on fiddle we have Katie, and I mentioned Emmett on dobro just in the corner there. You can just see the guitar, but we had Matt on that lead vocal. We have Karen as well, which is Mama Petersen, Karen Petersen on double bass, and you'll see her occasionally throughout the performance just on the left hand side. But these guys are also on Patreon, so if you are over there, make sure you check them out. That'll be patreon.com/the Petersens, because I think it's well worth supporting families like this, but just musicians like this who are playing live and doing this kind of thing in one take, and yeah, not doing overdubs and all that kind of stuff. So it's great, it's refreshing to see this kind of performance. So support them if you can, and head over to their YouTube channel as well, which is where this video comes from, and I will link it in the description below. But thank you guys for pointing me in this direction and requesting this video for me to take a look at. As always, keep those requests coming in the comments section below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!